gentlemen, it is a pleasure to welcome you all to announce our results. Most of you have seen the results numbers, but I want to give the full details of the performance of Doha Bank, the past and the present, and the way forward. It's good to see you all. Media has been a great support for Doha Bank, and they give a true and fair view of the performance. Pleasure to welcome. Doha Bank has done, once again, a commendable performance for the year just concluded 2013. 1,313 million has been the net profit. It's an all-round performance. If you look at the total asset expansion, it has moved from 55 billion last year. In 2012 to 13, it has moved to 66.9 billion. That's 21.3% increase in total assets. In terms of loans and advances, again, it's a commendable 22% increase. It has moved from 33.7 billion Qatar Riyal to 41.1 billion. That's 22% growth in loans and advances. Customer deposit, again, an increasing trend of 24%. It has moved from 34.4 billion to 42.5 billion. That's 24% growth in customer deposits. So total assets have moved, loans and advances have moved, all are over 20. And again, deposits have moved nearly 24%. That shows the character in the overall growth and productivity. The equity is also grown for reasons which you know. Twofold additions. One is, in the year beginning, we started with 7.5 billion as on 31/12/2012. It has moved to 11.27 billion. This twofold increase came out of, one is the right issue which was done in March last year. It was 10 riyal shares were sold at 30 riyals. You can see clearly what's the market reflection today. It's quoting nearly 65 riyals. So it is, people have conceived this is a performing institution, sustaining its credibility as a good institution. And visibly, it was oversubscribed by 1.8 times. We got 1.55 billion on account of right shares. In addition, we also have announced that we will go for additional Tier 1 capital notes to comply with the Basel III requirements and also to support the growth and overall international expansion which we are embarked in. That gives us impetus over nearly to the capital adequacy as on date 16.7%. 2 billion came out of the additional Tier 1 note. Thus has improved the capital adequacy in total terms. That came on the last day of the last year, 31st December. Overall, in substance, if you look at it, net profit has grown, capital is expanded, capital adequacy has taken new momentum. 16.7% is clearly setting the ground for us to take it further to the next level. And again, when it comes to asset expansion, deposit expansion, advances expansion, all scoring over 20% growth. That's the balance sheet part of it. Profitability is a telling story. In boom or downturn, we never gone down. Very few institutions can afford to say in the region, and of course in the rest of the world as well. The graph is only one side. If you look back from 2003 to 2013, if you say 2003 to 2007 is boom, and again we had difficult here in the global space, regional space, and also local space, banks have performed ups and downs. Whereas Doha Bank graph was only ascending. That shows how sustainable we are as a performer. That's important. Given the size of the shareholders' money, once again, but for QNB, which has produced 20% return, Doha Bank has produced 17.9%. That's the adjusted return because 2 billion came on the last day. That's not counted. Similarly, given the size of the balance sheet, one is the shareholders' equity, where we scored 17.9%. You have seen the results of QNB. You have seen the results of QIB. You have seen the results of Al-Ali Bank and Doha Bank. Compare it, you will find who is the one of the best performers. Again, return on assets is 2.18. Cost income ratio is 36%, which is the state of the overall performance ratios. Now, if you look at the accomplishments, what are the various things we achieved in overall terms? In quantitative terms, numbers we have told you. When it comes to profit and loss account numbers, foreign exchange has moved by 6%. Net interest income has grown. Cost of fund has come down. If you look at 4.1%, net interest income has grown. Interest income has grown 8.5% and 5% respectively. Foreign exchange has grown 6%. Fees and commissions have grown 15%. So it's a balanced performance, balanced growth, and one of the best performing ratios perhaps you can ask for. We have a very good team. We are all seeing here there are people sitting down the line here. The bank has achieved not only capital, they are also procured license. After 8.5 years of our persistence, we got a full-scale license to operate in India. Our international expansion has been a telling story. Wherever Qatar and the Gulf states have got economic linkage, we have been moving in the right direction. We're the first one to step out. First one to step out in 2003 to set up from a local market to outside. That was Dubai. We set up a rep office. We moved into a full-scale operation in 2008. We moved, same thing we did in Abu Dhabi. We set up a rep office and moved into full scale. Kuwait, we opened in 2008. India, we have been waiting. In 2005, when His Highness visited Father Emir, when he was Emir, when he visited India, I had the privilege of being there in India at the time, and we submitted our applications. Now, Indian government has issued a license for 2 banks. One is for National Bank of Abu Dhabi. Another one is Qatar. We're the first Indian bank, Qatari bank to be in India. That shows the prospects for the coming days with the bilateral trade, investments, banking, finance, remittances, which the region has got with India, is going to give a good, stable and functional prosperity for overall revenue model. We're carefully designing the business model. In the coming days, we will be letting you know when we'll be commencing the operation. We have to integrate people, process and technology, and we'll be opening our branch in Mumbai. The other initiatives in terms of international expansion, we opened 4 offices, one in Canada, Toronto, another one in Sydney, Australia. We opened our office in Hong Kong. We also opened our rep office in Sharjah. These 4 international rep offices, what I call them as commercial gates, to promote the bilateral relationship to start with. Banking comes the last. Our objective remains to promote the bilateral trade, investments, banking and finance. That's the name of the game. So that's shaping up well. We are operating as on date 15 countries in addition to Qatar. And India, once it gets commenced, you will have a 4th large-scale operations as a full-fledged operations. In UAE, we have 2 branches, Dubai and Kuwait, rather Abu Dhabi, and Kuwait we have. In addition, we have India in the making. That's on the international side. On the investment side, the name of the game is re-regulation. There are changes, but we manage to perform better and better within the market opportunities. We have partake in equities, bonds, and alternates, and we also issued Al Hayr Fund, which has been a very good response, which has been performing exceedingly well, and it's time we have a track record to show the market momentum is adding good value. So it's a product which now in hot sale. Now when it comes to other dimensions, our corporate finance and financial advisory has been performing exceedingly well. Recently we have taken many customized solutions for financial planning for many of our customers, corporate customers. Globally, we are getting leads. We are looking at options, how we can add value to corporates for their financial models, how we can support them in terms of debt or equity or other means. We have retail space. Again, our products are all well responded. Credit card, Lulu credit card is the Lulu Doha Bank credit card is the best credit card in the Middle East. And again, we have car loan, Ramadan or otherwise, one of the best schemes are available. In the liability side, if you look at it, deposit side, we have Aldana 10th year we are in the market. It's a household name. It is a household name today. Every kid knows Aldana. We're the first one to pronounce a savings product in this country. Everything first of its kind has stemmed out of this bank, and the innovation with my team and me has been profoundly adding value to customer convenience and customer value creation. And car loan or consumer loan, housing loan, credit cards, all are very well responded. We are in a consolidation mode. We are waiting for the market influx to change the dynamics of demographics. That will enhance the overall opportunities for us in retail space. But every branch for us in the cross-border is a bank. We have full-scale operations. Retail is available in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Kuwait. Similarly, cash management products are available. Transaction banking we are focusing, and we are going to consolidate in the coming days as far as transaction banking is concerned. When it comes to meritocracy, recognitions are plenty. You know it. We are an award-winning bank. Not 1 year, 10 years. Sustenance. Sustainability is our credibility. The Financial Times have rated us Bank of the Year 2013 is Doha Bank. We used to be the recipient of Financial Times Award. Somehow we lost the track. 2003, we are the Bank of the Year. 2004, we were 2006. Then we lost it to QNB for reasons which they know, both qualitative and quantitative reasoning. The size and sheer size is different, so I don't compare myself with QNB. The structural advantage, the government-related activities are different. Given the market discipline, given the level playing field, there's no question about our meritorial performance. That's why we got the best commercial bank in the Middle East from Bankers, Bank of the Year from Financial Times, and again, many awards. The list goes on. EMEA Finance, Best State Finance House, Best, name it. We are not complacent about it. We are only saying, how do we sustain this credibility again? Not only 10 years, in another 10 years we have to carry this mission with the committed team we have. That's our intention. Moving on to the corporate social responsibility, which is our forte. We have a very committed vision for social responsibility. We are not yet another bank. We have a big heart. We are socially committed for green banking. We clean the beaches. We concentrate on investments or lending for socio-economic purpose. We run, again, Doha Marathon. If you look at it, we have been doing it this year, 9th year in a row. We did the marathon. That has been a good trend. And we'll continue to concentrate on corporate social responsibility. Time and again, we have got recognized as the best corporate social responsible citizenship. We got award by Institute of Directors in London. I had the privilege of being there. So our moves goes on. So in terms of performance, we are there. In addition, unlike the previous year, we have added two important, service standards. One is customer connect. Every month I'm talking to the customers. People can come through social media, Facebook, Twitter, or even they can call. I dedicate my time to talk to the people. It's recorded, online, real time. We do that. As a step, our commitment to society is visible. I'm the leader on the spot. I don't do anything else other than being with the people. So I get myself connected every month. So that's our commitment for service standard. Staff connect again. With the global representations in 15 countries, we want to connect with the staff. So we have online, again, Facebook or online they can dial in, and I speak to them. So socially committed, responsible citizenship, and again, making sure we do knowledge sharing. Yesterday I was in Georgetown I was delivering a keynote on the sustainability of corporations and countries. Last year alone, we have done over 15 major conferences. As a bank, we do it. It's all amateur. It's all me and my team. We don't have even managers to do. We bring the anchors from our own staff, we pick up the threads, and we share the knowledge. We have shown the urban exchange of visions. We have shown the retail level market collaboration and opportunities. We motivated some of the merchants and dealers, and we also did SME, and social entrepreneurship, thought leadership. We imbibe. That's the bigger picture. And in terms of the strategic way forward, apart from local international expansion, we have locally also. Last year we have expanded our branch in Dar es Salaam Mall. We have plans to expand this year again, consolidate, relocate the branches here. International expansion, 3 or 4 locations have been identified. We'll continue to look at the prospects with the changing dynamics of the market. Since we have a good impetus to capital, we need to lend or invest as responsible corporate citizenship. That's the bigger picture. We have done a 3-year plan, and as per the plan, we are progressively building this institution. We want to consistently perform and add value to the shareholders, customers, regulators, and again, society at large. Now I invite you to ask me questions. If you have any English or Arabic, you can raise your questions, and we have people to respond along with me. Yes, please.
When do you plan to start the India operations? Any time frame?
6 to 8 months time it takes, because it's regulatory compliance, identifying the place, ensuring we have intellectual capital comes in, setting the business process, and ensuring technology integration takes place. So it's between minimum 6 months, maximum 8 months is what we target.
And what are the 3 new locations that you
So once the regulators approve, I have to tell you.
What differentiation you plan to bring in the Indian banking space? Because this is a time when Tata's and SR Group, they have withdrawn their license.
Yes.
So what differentiation we can expect from the government?
We are not an Indian bank. We are a GCC bank coming to India. That's our differentiation. We are the only Qatari bank is a differentiation. Our experience in designing the business model, looking at the dynamics of the market and customizing solution is what we are good at. We will obviously, bilateral trade takes place. We will be promoting it. Bilateral investments taking, we will be promoting it. Corporates are coming from India for project space, we will be supporting them. We know your customer policy operates because by setting up in India, we know the customer. We are going to promote SMEs. I have already signed collaborations with the SME Chamber of India. We have very significant market share in the local space, but going to India, we're going to support SMEs as well. And again, on the retail space, we have bigger opportunities to promote electronic banking. Again, with the social media is enlarging its scale and substance, huge opportunity lies in mobility, mobile computing. And that's what we want to, as you know, we have RTGS connections. Remittance can be done all over India through our network. We have 6.5 to 7 million Indians in the region. Very few Gulf banks are sitting there. No Qatari bank is sitting there. So our model is a GCC bank model, customized to India's solutions. This is our way forward. Yes, please.
I understand you sold your bond on the last day of last year, is that correct?
That's right. 2 billion we procured. It's additional tier 1. Not a.
How is it priced and who was it sold to? What kind of investors?
I think those are classified at this point. I mean, it's a private options. It was funded by, it's not went into international markets. So I'm constrained to comment on what we procure. It's competitive. I mean, I respect your questions.
To what extent the international operations contributed to your total revenue or your assets?
It's nearing 10%. It is going to enlarge to 25% in the next 3 years. And we are trying for additional licenses. If it all falls through, next 5 years, 50% is what we target for international operations.
Even by next 5 years?
Yeah, within next 5 years. There are like for example, Indian license was supposed to be 2-3 years before. So I was targeting, 25% in 3 years' time, and it didn't happen. So now next 3 years' time, we should, the scale of Indian market as such, and real opportunities there, and definitely we will support the bilateral trade or investments, banking and finance. So that will give us stimulus. Kuwait is all the regional, government expenditures are on the higher side. Fiscal policy pronounced by most of the countries. Yes, so Kuwait is doing very well for us. So we are going to concentrate on supporting the infrastructure creation in the region, contract financing our foray. We're going to concentrate on, but we have learned lessons out of contract financing. One of the reasons our performance would have been better, much better, but for certain lessons we have learned in the contract financing.
Doha Bank has always generated very high return on equity. So you are already in excess of 20% and above.
Correct.
So going by your standard, why is it declined now?
This is a game change. See, it is not only we decide the price, it's regulators comes to terms. Retail space we have cap fixed. Lending limits are capped, rates are fixed. See, so that's one reason. Again, with the changing dynamics, with new players, new dynamics, the yield on lending is coming down. Margins are falling. Still, we are the highest in terms of net interest margin. I should tell you that. Because our asset allocation model has worked, now we are moving from different levels now. We are going to a different league. It will continue to come down. It's abnormal in global terms to look at anything over 20%. It's normal for me to realize 10 to 12% is normal when you're at global operations. Still, we have done nearly 18%, and which is second to QNB, 20%. As I said, QNB has got a different value advantage, structural advantage, whereas we have to compete in real terms with the private sector players. So still, if you take only the rest of the team, we are number one. And I foresee the net interest margin will come down and our return on equity will come down. And mind you, I have to tell you this, I have to be there are conceptual profit warning I have to issue. With the changing dynamics of the market, with the capital we procured, we are not going to rush to judgment for pumping money in the market. That's not right risk integration. We are going to look at the market risk. We are going to look at the counterparty risk. So we have then only we want to gradually deploy these funds to 2 billion, even though it has come. Last year alone, if you look at 7 billion, 7.5 billion, we straight away moved to 11.2 billion. Does not mean I have to use everything this year. So I foresee the dynamics will show a very limited variance between 2013 to 14 in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and we'll close the gap in third quarter probably. And 2014 will be a challenging year for us to consolidate and move forward. See, it's important that you consolidate at some point of time. Growth, consolidation. That model will give you sufficient sustainable performance. And that's what we are good at. We know when to fire it up, when to consolidate. Now, with new markets coming in, we don't rush to judgment, whether India or other markets. We are going to look at the market risk very clearly, and that's why I'm saying that net interest margin is going to come down, return on equity will come down. That's very normal. It's a new normal, I have to use the expression. Yes, please.
Do you plan to settle any more bonds, and what's your Tier 1 capital ratio?
See, Tier 1 is 16 point, the total capital adequacy ratio, Ms. David is here.
16 total.
16.6. Yep. That's commendable. We have a scope for lending a performance over 15 billion. With this money we can, to comply with the conservative buffer which the central bank has mentioned, 12%. We have safety margins to support. So growth is not a constraint. But how do we grow? How do we manage the market risk? How do we put volumes? What margins we take? What sort of asset allocation we are going to do in each market? That's why I foresee a 15% return on equity by end of 2014. That's how it is likely to grow. At some point, it's a cycle. Banking is always a cycle. You have to moderate and then take stock of it, then start getting the reset.
You also have plans to come out with
No. We didn't. We did senior debt and subordinated debt. When we were practicing Islamic, we did mention that we will go for $1 billion sukuk. That was pronounced to create Doha Islamic, adequacy. But that we put on hold with delicensing on the Islamic side. There's no more in the cards. Yes, Robert Bloomberg.
What was, you said 13% you expect the return on equity by the end of the year?
I foresee 15%. See, our growth plans are visible to me, and the market dynamics are visible to me. So if I aim at sustainability, then 15% should be the target we need to deliver as a team. Yeah. Huh?
What is it now?
That is now it's 17.9. And again, in interbank terms, there are 4 banks that announced the results. You can do the comparison. We are second to none.
So by when does 3 more applications will be
We are working with regulators,
this year?
hopefully. As I said, it took 8.5 years for me to get a license for India.
That's the case.
Yeah, India is very conservative in giving licenses. Every regulators are conservative. Yes, please.
You mentioned that interest margins falling. My question is, what's driving them? Is it just that there's a lot of competition, or is it also the government losing? And what can be done to, given the number of banks
That's why when the market is becoming global, you have to go global. That's what we have done. We realized it in 2002. This market is going to be flooded with new players. And we have carefully crafted it. Ours is organic. We didn't have any acquisition story. That's why we are able, there's no short-term dilution on my earnings. Now, look at the number of players in the market. Onshore, offshore. How, again, the trade or retail, within the definition, it's permissible for even players who are not onshore per se through central bank license. So you are facing huge competition, erosion of margins, changing business trends. But the systemic risks are getting minimized, financial stability is coming in, the dollarization is completely changing now to local currency lending. These are good symptoms. The equation is changing towards local currency lending. That's a good sign, so that arbitrage can't be exercised by foreign players. So the momentum is getting reset, and I foresee with the Basel III compliance and the conservative buffer we need to maintain with the regulatory compliance required in the international space, obviously your margins have to come down. Your return on equity has to come down. Your return on assets has to come down. Yes, please.
What's your forecast for 2014 net profits?
Forecast for 2014 net profit. So I have got anyone from Qatar Exchange here? Television crews are recording. I'm constrained to tell the number. We are a public enterprise, widely held. We are ambitious. We want to deliver the best to our stakeholders.
What was the ratio of your NPAs?
3%. And the provision cover is 95%. And with the risk reserve, 170% provision cover, but for collateral, without collaterals. You can know it. It's a very stable and functional operations. And rating agencies, mind you, rating agencies have given us A rating for Doha Bank, and outlook positive by Capital Intelligence, stable by S&Ps and Fitch. You can see in the market how many banks have got.
What is your outlook for assets?
See, with the momentum what I'm seeing, there are new bids coming up, tenders are out. A conservative and cautious exercise should give us minimum growth of 15%, maximum growth of 20%. 2014 in overall lending or lending volumes. Babu Rajan, any questions? No questions? Nanda?
We appreciate you opened a branch in Mumbai.
Okay.
Do you have any more branch planned in India, like Delhi and Madras?
Good question, sir. Let us get the first branch right. We'll learn lessons, then we'll replicate. We will, of course, we are going to grow. India is a per se, it's a continent. If we look at many states and the total population, the niche which we need to create is not only Bombay is a commercial capital, so that's why we have set in our footprints there. Now we will explore options once we consolidate our branch in Bombay. We have opportunities. India is liberalizing. Yes, Robert.
Firstly, your lending projection us for this year, correct? 15-20%
On the loans and advances.
loan growth?
Yes.
Okay, the other thing is your investment portfolio. Will that be growing? Will that be shrinking? Your investment?
So we want to grow with the additional capital we have. Definitely we want to look at, but it's a game change. Regulators have redefined the game, as you know. External investments are limited. Local investments we'll explore. Definitely we are going to do our best. And, within the framework, still the growth, marginal growth is possible. Am I right, Louis Weiss? I have a manager's managing my investments. We have women participation in the top management as well. We should know that. So any ladies wants to join Doha Bank? No? Any more questions? Ashraf, I saw you here. Yes, any questions? Aswandana.
Do you have any plan, a separate plan for SME in Indian operation?
I just mentioned we have an SME Chamber of India and Doha Bank has signed a deal.
In Kerala also?
Oh, that's interesting. Who knows? We can explore that. NRK, I'll speak to them. They have any SME collaborations possible. The money will come back. I'll give. No, we have to. See, the way we cut across, we work with local authorities. So in SME Chamber of India, SME is pronounced by the Prime Minister of India, and the deal was done to promote bilateral values. Now many SMEs are coming here. There's contracts and subcontracts if you look at it, and we are going to create a social entrepreneurship center here, and we invite them and we're going to incorporate them. We're going to give them all the infrastructure and we facilitate them. That's a model getting evolved. In another 6 months time, Sammy is getting ready. Where is Sammy? He has to set up the infrastructure of one floor for SME. Exclusive, they come and set up the business. We advise them to how to go about. Once they are on the road, they can do whatever they deem fit. So when can you give the SME? They're asking SME floor.
Already delivered.
Yeah, it's getting delivered.
Delivered for 1 week back to Mr. Suraj
Yes,
and asking for any assistant.
yes. He's our administration manager. So he's saying that dedicated floor will be ready. So we want to concentrate on SME Ashraf. Here, India, everywhere. Kerala, of course.
You already have tied with India Gold or something like that. So once with this new branch,
Hmm.
new fulfilled branch, would all these tie-ups remain intact or?
Very good question. He is a very clever guy. So that's a change in the business model. See, we operate through collaboration as on did, through multiple banks. The model is getting redefined. We are going to change the business model because when you have your own branch, the collaborative models will have. So let me set up the branch and make sure all the infrastructures are in place. Then I'll see how to redefine the business model. As on date, Axis Bank, Instant Bank, State Bank, all our partners. Kerala also we have many banks who are having online remittance facilities. Now once you have Indian operation of Doha Bank in Mumbai with RTGS over 50,000 branches available, you have less choice than to connect with them straight through processing again. It makes sense than going through collaborative models. That's at this point it's very premature for me to comment.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the regulations? You said the regulations are limiting right now for extensions. What do you mean by that? What regulations?
See, with the advent of financial crisis, the investment rules have changed. We used to have proprietary investments. We used to have investment rules predictably supporting 30 and 10%. 30 means equity, bond, and 10 is alternates on our overall tier 1. Now there is a new game change. How much we should put outside, how much we should put inside. Non-resident investments, how much we can play. Yeah. So if you want to invest in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or New York, I have my limits linked to my tier 1 capital. So that's what I mean. Those conditions were conservative and cautious, and it's being measured, managed, and controlled by regulators. So it restricts. And that's correct also. See, the investment banks were gambling. So commercial banks have got no ambit for practicing investment banking game. So that's why world over they are redefining the capacity to invest.
Is it an across the board limit or it depends on bank to bank?
Yeah, across the board. I mean, probably we can share the circular with you. It came 6 months before, 8 months before. Yes, please.
Do you expect to, any major government infrastructure financing, I mean, we know the petrochemicals project, do you expect that to invest in that, and when do you expect that to happen?
You see, the PKP plan, if you look at it, we have huge scope for expansion. Now, IPO itself, the multiple, I mean, we are talking about the strategic direction is huge. That's going to give opportunities for the banks. So Qatar is good at consolidating its position as a distribution diversification solution for world over LNG supply and also petrochemicals. So it will continue to happen. And Doha Bank is committed. Now we have seen UMSAID IPO is getting oversubscribed. We have seen the reflection in the market. Banks are pumping money within the framework. Everyone knows it's going to get oversubscribed multiple times. So banks have got less risk. So this is a public-private partnership model. It is going to help the overall turnout.
Can you disclose how much you lost for this next year?
Tomorrow is the last day. So if I'll be violating the norms if it is significant. 22nd, yeah. Tomorrow. 22nd. Is it, Sanjay, is it today?
It's today.
Today.
1 o'clock today. 21st at 1 o'clock today. Is
Yeah.
What about not the IPO, but the project ending double shell to build petrochemical plant? There's been said that this year they'll
Yes.
finance it.
Yes.
Do you expect to do that, participate in that?
Of course. See, we have been very selective in terms of project financing. Qatar Gas 2 we were taking, and so some of the recent, Barzan we were a party to it. Khalid Nama is instrumental in getting it done. Now we have opportunities coming up. We'll put our money.
Any timeframe idea when that's
Now the way I look at the progressive plans of KP, as I said, in the next 5 years you have 50-odd projects shaping up. And local or international banks will have, a lot to gain out of this momentum. Any other questions? No questions? Anyone from television? Anyone from Mathrubhumi? Nobody? He's not asking questions. You don't know questions? All of my good friends, I enjoy meeting them time and again. Thank you once again for coming. Enjoy the refreshments, and my PR is here to give you some annual compliment as well. Anything else? Good. Thank you all. Thank you.